I built an extremely successful business with content doing Google Ads for clients. That is how I built all my money. And again, I leaned into content. I did content. That is how I got my clients. And I'm extremely, extremely proud of it. But you know what? I felt small. I felt small and I felt trapped. And then late one night, what was happening is I was watching YouTube and I saw a fantastic video about someone that had escaped their niche. And this video was all about personal branding and a way to build a personal brand so that I was not stuck talking about Google Ads all day, every day. Today, I'm going to tell you the story, what I lost, and the lessons that saved my entire business. So if you're a content creator and you're feeling really stuck, no matter where you're at, if you're running Google Ads all day and you're a little sick of it, which we all get there, then this video is for you. Let's be clear. I like Google Ads. I am really, really good at it. But underneath being so good at Google Ads, I also felt like doing Google Ads was draining the life out of me. And what it was, and what it still kind of is, and this can be a problem in our industry, is that part of why I'm so good at Google Ads is I sit in the platform all day and look at my client accounts and become absolutely engrossed in the data. And that's amazing. That generates amazing results for my clients, but that's not sustainable. There's also a side of me that has always known that I have way, way more to offer this world. Again, I show up on camera. I'm not afraid. I build the content. I'm a mom of 3. I have a lot of depth to me that goes beyond Google Ads, and I felt really trapped in this box. And so the real pain, it wasn't the work, it was the box that I'm talking about, that feeling of just being stuck. And you hear it a lot online. You hear people talking about the challenges of being multi-passionate. But here's the truth. We're all multi-passionate. And I'm sure the guru that ripped me off knew this. They're intelligent people. And I think when you would become this type of guru, this type of snake, I'll call it, you really do prey on the vulnerabilities of people and you really, really know what their struggles are and then market to them like no other. So as I'm emotional and I'm looking for this escape patch, this guru, their content landed on my feed and I watched it. And it was phenomenal content. I'll give them that. The pitch was absolutely amazing. And they didn't sell strategy. They gave away this information. And the information was so powerful. The promise was really that I could be bigger than my niche. The promise was that if I've ever felt like I have more to give, I can get out of that. And I felt very validated through the content. And frankly, it made me open my wallet. And I'm not going to drill into what their main framework was, because I think if I started to share that, it would give away the guru. And there is a power dynamic with these gurus that they do come after you and send their people to come after you. So I really don't want to elaborate on this. But what I will say is that the framework they presented was really good. And once you actually got into the learnings of their framework, you realize like, oh, I can become an expert in this framework and implement that. I mean, it was telltale, absolutely complete garbage. But they sold you on the garbage because the garbage sounded so real and so practical. But what would happen is when you went to apply their tactics, that's where it fell down. And then they would charge you for application. But of course, in a landing page, of course, it had huge celebrities on their landing page, and reviews and media mentions and absolutely everything that you can think of that sucked me in. Knowing what I know now, I know that I have absolutely nothing in common with the gurus on their page. But at the end of the day, I was making a business decision from a point of feeling inadequate, small, not good enough, stuck, and emotional. And that was my mistake, number one. So there we were, my $13,000 on a credit card out the door, and realizing that I had been had. And again, the real problem fell down when it came to the execution of these strategies and these frameworks that they sold me on. These programs, I firmly believe, were designed to sound smart, but fell down in the execution. And again, when I went back and said, this isn't working, they turned the blame onto me and offered, obviously, for me to pay to get more of their implementation package. So it's always an upsell. And as you can imagine, through all of this, I ended up incredibly depressed. I was down. I didn't feel good. Like it just was really, really defeating and shameful, especially because I had a business coach before that had done wonders for me. So I didn't think the coaching business was a scam. I didn't think anything like that. I had just, I felt a deep sense of shame, and I was out all that money. But in the end, I learned some really, really critical lessons. And I think these critical lessons are absolutely great for anyone creating content. And I want to share those with you today. The first largest lesson is never, ever, ever make a decision for your business out of emotion. A business purchase, especially to the tune of 13,000, is something that is planned. It's thought about. It's something you need. It is not something you buy on a Friday night when you're watching YouTube with a glass of wine, thinking about how you're going to get more business. That is not the time to make a business decision. If you are working in content creation and business, there are going to be times when you feel depressed, small, not good enough. And that is the time to pull away and do something fun with your friends and get out and experience the world and be grateful for where you're at today. Your business needs a strategy, not a therapy session online. The desire to be bigger can be addressed through content and creating more content. You just have to go through it and do it and create and build. And it just takes time. There's no way around it and there's no shortcut. The second real point here is that no guru, no expert coaching program, and no eloquent speaker can replace the work. I built my Google Ads business through consistent targeted content and through networking and just being a nice person and being in the right place at the right time. And the truth is, if you want to leave your niche, you can absolutely leave your niche. You don't need to pay a $13,000 consultant to do it. You can leave it, but here's the catch. You're going to have to build absolutely slowly, just like I'm doing here. This is my channel where I talk about content and how much I love content and how content has always been by my side and helped me build the profitable Google Ads business that I built. And a year, I think maybe a year and a half post this mistake, the thing that mistake has done for me is it's brought me back to my truth. And my truth is that I absolutely love content creation. I absolutely am blessed with the fact that I have the courage to show up on video, to make these videos, and that it's gotten me to where I am today. And my real passion and joy comes from helping other freelancers, especially in the Google Ads space, because it's a lot different than social media or other forms of marketing. And I love, love, love helping other Google Ads practitioners grow their businesses, especially with content. And when I make the content, I share what works for me, and I don't share it in a prescriptive way, much like I don't share Google Ads in a prescriptive way. I share my experiences, what I've had work for me firsthand, knowing that you, the content creator, the person that's running your own Google Ads business, has to put your personal touch on it and do it your way. And I encourage that. I don't say, well, do this, do that. This will work. This is guaranteed. That is not how I approach this. And for me, that's essentially weaving in the transparency, not lying, telling you that this is hard. This is very hard work. I did not get to where I got overnight. I didn't just wake up one day. I've actually been building Google Ads content for probably 10 out of the 17 years that I've been doing Google Ads. And one of the times when I really started getting into like deep content making and doing the most that I've ever done in terms of blogging, I was making the least amount of money because I was putting all the effort towards content. And at the end of the day, I said it before, content is cheap. Content is free. People don't pay for content. So long story short, that is the story of how I got ripped off, the pain that I experienced that I hope that I can avoid for anyone else and frankly, ever avoid for myself in the future. And if you're interested in creating content for your Google Ads business or your freelance, I hope you follow along. I'm excited to open up more and more about this side of my business because it is what I truly have a passion for. I told one of my closest Google Ads friends that if I were to build a business that I absolutely loved, all I would do is talk about content all day and make content all day because I enjoy it, whether it's about Google Ads, whether it's about content itself, whether it's the nuances of why it's so hard to make content for Google Ads, because sometimes you feel like you're selling Google Ads more than you're actually selling your services running Google Ads. You know, those are the things that I love, love, love talking about. And as I always say, running a Google Ads business, freelancing, working for clients, it's not a get rich fast scheme. It's not something where you can just get your Google Ads certification and start running wild, making the money. And that is a myth that I aim to bust. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video where I opened up about what happened to me. I hope that I'm able to edit it together because I actually found it very difficult to talk about this topic because frankly, it was a really sucky time in my business. But again, as always, my content, if it helps one person, then that is an absolutely amazing thing. I'm not expecting to blow the views out of the water on this one, just like any of my other posts. And I hope that you have the courage to go and dig into what makes you you, because that's what's going to help you succeed. And happy content creation. Bye.